All right, welcome to another how-to anime video. So for this video, we are going to talk about Chainsaw Man again. So episode 4 is over, and does my perspective change from the previous episode? What is the biggest issue of Chainsaw Man? The biggest issue of Chainsaw Man is the comedic delivery. So the comedic delivery is what makes Chainsaw Man, when you read the manga, there's the essence of this humor that comes through. So does episode 4 do a better job of that? A little bit. So let's talk a little bit about episode 4 right now. So the beginning of the episode starts off with this really great backstory of Power Imaoi, and it has her waking up to Denji. They have a little bit of conversation, and then Power asks, "Yo,
I screwed you over.
So why are you helping me?" And Denji's like, "Yo, it's this." And he does the little motion with his hands, right? This is one of those scenes where it's just like that comedic delivery doesn't really go through. It doesn't give you the option. It doesn't make you feel like you should be laughing in that moment. If you look at the manga panels, which I will put up, the manga panel shows how it's written. It's a little bit more, has a comedic edge to it, because you have the motion with the hands, but it says squeeze. It literally says squeeze. And the fact that you read it out loud like a squeeze, it makes it that much funnier. So how that comes through the animation, how they present it matters. So I just think that's a little bit of a miss right there. We'll just call this checking for breast cancer. Let's just call it that. So when Denji checks for breast cancer, it's just not, it doesn't bring that funny element in this really kind of like misty haze of dark gloominess. There's not that balance, that switch to that comedic sense where you're just like, yo, that's kind of funny. that takes you away for a brief moment that everything is kind of dark right now, And the next issue I have with the comedic moment at the beginning of the episode is like, Power tells Denji what? He's like, yo, you saved me, you saved Maui, yo, you can check if I have breast cancer. So Denji, what he does is, being super excited, he's like, yo, sha, he jumps up in the air. I still have a little bit of an issue of how he reacts, but it's fine. I don't think they did a good enough job with that too, but that is not my biggest concern. My biggest concern is after he gets his arm blown away, there's this reaction where he's in pain because he got his arm blown away. But there's this another comedic element to that, where in the manga he has this incredible moment where just like, yo, I finally get to check for breast cancer, and then it happens so suddenly that his arm gets blown off. It's just one of those things where it comes off as like a sarcastic pain.
Like, oh my god, my arm got blown off.
How am I gonna check for breast cancer? It's like,
you're missing the little comedic elements in there. Like, he doesn't say that in the anime, but how it's kind of interpreted is like, ow, my arm, So the way that he cries out in pain. He's like, oh man, my arm, come on now. It's one of those kind of situations where you kind of don't have that sarcasm in pain of that moment where he's so excited that he gets to check for breast cancer. And in this case, he's losing his moment. So it's funny that happens. The anime doesn't hit that note. It doesn't hit that punchline of, you should be laughing because of this moment. They don't give it enough of that comedic, that comical flair where it tells you, hey man, you should be laughing at this moment because his arm is blown away and he just got told, hey, he could check for Power's breast cancer. Come on now, that's a miss to me. That is a miss. So after Denji's arm got blown off, they could have added so many tags. Oh my goodness, my arm. How am I gonna touch Power now? How am I gonna do this now? In the anime, they take it too literally seriously that, oh my god, my arm is blown off. that moment is actually supposed to be funny in my eyes, in my perspective, and I think they don't add that enough to it. So I know I rail really hard on the comedic elements of Chainsaw Man, but overall, that is very essential to reading the manga. When you just read the manga, it just makes it more funny. So overall, the opener of episode 4 was pretty good. It's just, you know, they need to hit on this comedic thing because it's just not funny. It's just taken too literally seriously. And I've talked to a few people, I've seen some comments like online, like, you know, people that haven't read the manga, people are not just totally homers, just loves everything Chainsaw Man. Most people that just watch Chainsaw Man off of a recommendation, they're gonna watch it and they're gonna take it the way that I'm explaining it. Like, it's very serious, all the characters are very basic, you know, they explain these things. And the one special quality about the Chainsaw Man story is the writing of the comedy that comes through, and that just doesn't come through the anime that good at all. So taking all that into account, there's this scene where Denji fights the Leech Devil, and it's actually pretty good animation. I really like the animation on it. The fight scenes looks really good. And then there's a short little period where Denji's like, hey, I'm doing all this to check Power's breast cancer. I mean, that is one moment where I thought it's a very funny thing to say, but it's a very serious moment, and it actually goes really well with the fight scene. So I actually don't have a problem with how that's portrayed, how he says that in the anime. One little issue I have is also not a comedic element. It's how Denji, they build this great moment. Like, again, they're very good at building up certain dramatic moments where Denji just he has a little bit of the chain like in his head, and then he, you know, sticks it into the Leech Devil, but they don't show him like getting impaled through the chest. So they actually pan it from the bottom up. They added in the little bit of that, you know, mysterious music where that dramatic music where it's like, oh my goodness, he's about to die, everything is about to go wrong. So you get that feeling, but it gets confusing because they panel bottom up. The music changes. It's like, what the heck just happened? But he's dripping blood. Okay, he got stabbed or he's losing a lot of blood. You don't really get that full effect. So I have a slight problem of how they did that. It makes a lot of sense if they just straight up showed us him getting impaled. Because even in the manga, it just straight up shows him with a thing through his chest. You know, they don't show it from panning bottom up. So that's a little nitpick about Chainsaw Man right now, how they delivered that part of the scene. But you know what it is. When Aki shows up, that is what it's meant for. When Aki shows up and does a little thing with his hand and bringing out that Fox Devil and showing his devil powers for the first time, that moment was perfect. So the whole first half of the episode was actually, I feel like it's pretty good. Like, I would give that first half of the episode a solid like 8 out of 10. I want Chainsaw Man to be at the pantheon of animes and of mangas, because I feel like the whole story till the very end, if done right, it's up there as a legitimately great story, and it has a lot of depth to the story and to the characters of what they're going through. But if they don't hit these entertainment qualities, these comedic qualities that makes their comedy special, it just makes it that much more an enjoyable thing to watch that separates itself from all the other animes that are out right now. So this part of Chainsaw Man at the very end of the episode is what I think Chainsaw Man is it what encapsulates Chainsaw Man. And it's when Power barges into Aki's apartment and Denji and Aki is like, what the is going on right now? And they have these like funny faces that they make, and you know, Power's doing all these like crazy things. She's all wacky. She's super loud. She's throwing vegetables everywhere. She won't flush the damn toilet. She's leaving Dookie in the toilet. Who leaves Dookie in the toilet? So the ridiculousness of her character and the actions that she takes, it forces the creators to, you have to make this funny. You have to make this comedic. You have to add music, sound effects during this period, and this storyboarding has to be funny. This is where the manga, the source material, it makes the creators, there's only one way to do this. Now, all the other scenes, you could still make that dark, and it's still a pretty good adaptation of what you see from the manga. It's just the interpretation is different from the creators and from my point of view. So how Chainsaw Man episode 4 ends, it's basically how I perceive Chainsaw Man. That funny element of her just barging in, and then Aki and Denji is just like, whoa, what the heck is going on? And then she just barges through, and then she just causes havoc in the most hilarious ways possible. That is Chainsaw Man. The writing is great too, because it makes this like comedic like setup. Denji's plunging away at Powers, Dookie, and he's like, yo man, you got your Dookie stains? Why is it so stuck to the toilet? No one has that harsh of Dookie stains that is stuck to the toilet. And then she comes out like, yo, it's that time. You know, you can, you know, check for breast cancer now. And you get 3 tries to check for breast cancer. And it ends on that cliffhanger. That, to me, that is Chainsaw Man right there. And these are the iconic moments in Chainsaw Man that they have to hit and that I'm looking for. If they nail these kind of scenes, you could kind of look over all the previous little spots of where things could have been funny that wasn't that funny. These scenes, it has to hit. And it was a perfect cliffhanger. It has the same cliffhanger like in the manga chapter, I think it was 11. At the beginning of episode 5, if they don't finish this scene and do it right, then I'm gonna still have some issues, but I have a more positive outlook on the anime than I did in episode 3. Overall, episode 4, where it kind of leads me to is, hey, they do fight scenes pretty well. They do these cinematic build-ups to hit certain scenes pretty well. They do it pretty well. They could, you know, make some things a little bit better, and they could hit these punchlines a little bit better. That's fine. But the quality of the comedic parts is the most Chainsaw Man thing about the story. So the end of the episode is that. The end of episode 4 is that, with Denji, you know, plunging the poop, and Power causing havoc, throwing vegetables, not, you know, flushing their poops, and causing mayhem within the home of now the trio of Denji, Power, and Aki. That is why I love Chainsaw Man. It's that part of it, that comedy. So yeah, let me know what you guys think of Chainsaw Man so far. It's 4 episodes in, so if you guys end up watching this at a later time, you know, hey, just let me know at whatever point, if you guys read the manga or if you guys just watch the anime by itself. Let me know what you guys think. What qualities about Chainsaw Man do you like, not like? And if you did read the manga, how are you liking the anime compared to the manga? Because this is always, as an anime enthusiast or people that read the manga and watch the anime, we're always comparing if the manga is better or if the anime is better. In my opinion, the manga is better, but the anime isn't bad. It could be a lot better, and especially the comedic elements. So you guys know how I feel about this, I think, at this point. And yeah, do me a favor, guys, like the video, subscribe to the channel, check out my blog at otakusen.com, check out my TikTok, check out my anime figure collecting YouTube. So I have a channel over there. If you guys collect animes, you know, hit me up over there. I'm starting a live stream. And yeah, I appreciate you guys. Like the video, and I'll see you guys on the next video.